you're going to consider that weak part of the body needful. It's necessary, all right, and it has a great use to the body. Just like people remove their tonsils or their appendix, not their appendix, but the appendix will get removed because they had a rupture appendix. Their tonsils. All right, but those are part of the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system, and that is what help cleans your blood, man. That's what helps fights diseases that come into the body. It also it acts as a warning system, letting you know when you get your swollen tonsils or things like that. That's showing you that you have an infection, or your appendix. Those are all like the lymph nodes. Those are all like filters, man. They filter things, and throughout the whole body, from the head to from I believe your head, from the to your toes, man, to your arms, everywhere. You got your lymph nodes everywhere. So some people think that they're unnecessary, but they're there for a reason. All right, they're there to do what Yahweh Shem Shai created to do. All right, so it said, verse 31, but covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way. Okay, so let me go from there to 1 Corinthians 14:1. It says, follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts, but rather that you may prophesy. You see, and that's one of the greater gifts is to go out to the highways and the byways and prophesy. Which to prophesy means to say before, all right, before things come to pass. So essentially, you are teaching, you're warning the body, you're warning the people. Okay, you're teaching them the breakdowns of the scriptures. You're teaching them the coming return of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, verse 2: for he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto the Most High. For no man understandeth him. Howbeit in the spirit he speaketh mysteries. But he that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification, to exhortation and comfort. You see, so prophesying, when you go out to the highways and the byways, you're prophesying, man. So you're becoming a teacher at that moment. You're teaching. That's what exhortation is. It's like to warn. All right, to warn. And to edify is to build. So when you're building somebody up, you're teaching them the right way, and to comfort. You're teaching them how to be an encouraging, to be encouraged. You're encouraging them. All right, through the words of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. So like I said here in 1 Corinthians 14:1, it says, follow after charity. So that's what the first things you're going to be doing. Even when you grow in this thing, you still have to continue to follow after charity. That's brotherly love. You continue feeding the flock, But it says desire spiritual gifts, And like I said in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, it says covet after the greater gifts, which is to be an apostle, to be a prophet, to be a teacher. All right, because a prophet, as the scriptures say in Romans, I believe it's in Romans, the spirit of the prophets. No, it's in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, Salakia. It says the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. So like I said in 1 Corinthians 12, are all apostles, are all prophets, are all teachers? No. And essentially, you are going to adapt those things. You are going to have those abilities in some form or fashion. All right? So, in a nutshell, we're all doing the work for Yahweh Shem Shai, so that's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to go from there to 1 Timothy chapter 4 and start at verse 11. It says, these things command and teach. Let no man despise thy youth. You see? So, a man that's been in this thing and he's acquired these gifts through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, he's commanded to command and teach. And teach who? To the newly, the young, young flock, the young sheep, the young brothers, letting them know, let no man despise thy youth, because there's gonna be men out there that think they're on some type of level that, because it's your age, because you're young, they can't be taught. That's a form of pride. All right, that's a form of pride, that they have a problem with a young individual that has the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah on them to receive correction from that young man. But Timothy, because Timothy, he was a young man, you know, to Timotheus, and Paul was he was under Paul's wing, and he was teaching him, you know, 1st and 2nd Timothy, you know, he was teaching him what to avoid and what not to allow and within the body, you know. But though he was young, he's telling him this. He says, let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, and in purity. All right, so Paul is letting them know to be an example unto the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, and in purity. All right, what do you think Timothy's going to be doing? Just standing there and people just looking at him like that's the example? No, he's teaching, he's preaching, he's prophesying. All right, he's traveling, because Timothy, he acquired all these things. He was doing all those different things, man. Same as Paul. Paul acquired all those gifts throughout the time that Yahweh Shai brought him over. Okay, it says, verse 13, it says, till I come, give attendance to reading, exhortation, and to doctrine. You see, so he was in a learning process, you know. Eventually he acquired those gifts. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, you see, which was given thee by the prophecy, with the laying on the hands of the presbytery. You know, so it was prophesied that Timothy would receive these gifts, and he was going to utilize them, because it was ordained in the scriptures to the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to go onto the highways and the byways, man. You know, and that's exactly what he did. And he didn't neglect that gift. You know, he increased it. It's like when you read about the parable of the men that received the talents, and the one that received I think it was 5 talents, he flipped it to 10 talents. You know, he didn't sit on it like the last man did that received the talent, and he covered it with the napkin and he buried it, I believe. You know, he didn't do anything. You know, he wasn't coveting after the greater gifts. He wasn't teaching and admonishing and rebuking and forewarning the people. You know, verse 15, meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear before all. So how would it Timothy's profiting appear before all if he's just standing there and not saying a damn word, if he ain't teaching? All right, he has to open his mouth. The scriptures say in the book of Sirach that a man may be known by his speech. You know, so that's what it means, that his profiting may appear before all. You know, because he was doing the work. You know, Paul was his example. Paul was his teacher, man. Paul was out there doing the work, man. He was in heavy dire straits, you know, with his countrymen, being stoned, being in the ocean for I believe it was like a day, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he went through hell, man, for the ministry, for Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai's sake, man, for the elect. So he was taught under the tutelage of Paul. Timothy was. Verse 16, take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. All right, so Timothy was out there doing it. So to the younger Akim, you don't be afraid of the calling of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, you go out there and you teach, you get your camera, you learn the scriptures, you watch the videos, you take notes, you do what you have to do. All right, and you will go from glory to glory. Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai told us this, man. You will go from glory to glory. All right, so I just wanted to bring that out because, you know, there's no excuse, man. All right, you go out there and do what you got to do, man. Handle your business and do what you got to do for Yahweh Shai's sake. Nobody else is between you and Yahweh Shai, and it's gonna be for the elect. Because, like I said, it's for edification. It's to build the house of David. You know, so I just wanted to bring this out real quick tonight. You know, I was just thinking about certain things. So desire the greater gifts, the spiritual gifts, and that the greatest one is to prophesy. All right, which if you're a prophet or an apostle, that's exactly what you're gonna be doing, man. You know, a teacher, that's exactly what you're gonna be doing. You know, you're not gonna be cooped up in a house just teaching the Bible. You know, you're gonna be on the highways and the byways, man. All right, so hey, don't be afraid. Just count the cost. Know what you're getting yourself involved in. Don't do it because you see men out there in the highways and the byways with their beards and they have these garments on and backpacks on and